everybody, and welcome back to Getting Real. I'm Dr. Nicole Bonner, and this is Dr. Patty Giuliano.
Hey,
What's up,
everybody.
Patty?
Hey, Nicole. Today, I think we're going to get really real today. I think it's
Yeah,
important. I think it's important for us to touch on some subjects that are in the news, in the feeds, right? You said you've got some interesting feeds coming through. You want to talk about that? And we'll start with that.
yeah, sure. So our topic today, you guys, is keeping a steady hand, a clear mind, and staying focused while you're in practice, even during times of tribulation. And Patty and I, as soon as we get on these calls, I almost forgot to start recording you guys because we start gabbing it up about stuff that you all need to be aware of. And this is a really good topic because we all have times of excess stress and things that happen in our life, and we all have to keep purpose driven. We have to keep our passion up and keep our passion alive, even during times when we feel stressed. And I was just telling Patty about on my personal Facebook page, I don't know if I had clicked on something accidentally, and it changed my algorithm of posts that I was seeing, or if this is a new trend that we're seeing. But I noticed that there are a lot of PTs, OTs, physiotherapists out there that are talking negative about chiropractors, but specifically the types of chiropractors out there who are promoting what I call real chiropractic. This is like, chiropractic is chiropractic, and you can't take a name and just redefine it. Things don't work like that. Like the table is a table, Patty. You can't redefine the table, right? That's what we call it. So chiropractic is chiropractic, whether you like it or not. It is what it is, right? So I get a little bit fired up about this. Sorry if I get like a little heated about this, but if you're a chiropractor and you don't follow the principle, you don't want to be a chiropractor, then be a physical therapist, be an OT, be a physiotherapist. There are a million other professions out there that that cater to musculoskeletal band-aid, the medical model and treatment, right? But if you are a chiropractor, which if you're watching this podcast, I guarantee that you are, then how do we get through that? How do we like stay focused when we have all this other chitter chatter in the world, around us in the world? And so that we can not only have a successful practice, but also have a successful and peaceful life, because
So
that kind
I
of
think
garbage like has a tendency to rob us of our peace and rob us of our love of our profession. How many of you out there, I want you guys to comment wherever you guys are watching this, if you can comment, how many guys out there have been feeling, maybe I've only been in practice 6 to 12 months and I'm already feeling burned out? Well, if you're already feeling burned out and you've been in it less than a year or even 5 or 10 years and you're feeling burned out, it's because you're allowing the outside um, times of tribulation and stress to water down, to dim your light and dim your message. Okay.
okay. Okay. So a couple things, Nicole. We got to define what it is that we do as chiropractors, and chiropractic has been defined by whatever the states say it is and whatever the schools teach you, right? And so if somebody comes out of a school other than, let's say it like Life West, Life University, Sherman, even Cleveland, I don't know. I don't know all the other schools, so I don't want to, be putting them, I'm not putting them down. I'm just saying that they teach a whole different set of principles. I mean, they teach them principles and they
Right.
teach them objectives. And in all the schools, the objective once you get into the health center, the clinic, is it's diagnosis and treatment.
Mhm.
And so we look at where we're at. Where we're at is chiropractic schools are teaching, let's say the principles are what we define as the Stevenson's 33 principles, which are that number one, we believe that stuff comes from the inside out. It's above down, inside out, that there is a brilliance and a genius called universal intelligence in existence, and it keeps everything in existence. So we have that philosophy as our basis. And from that, we deduce down that there is an innate intelligence within all living things, right? And it gives
Mhm.
all living things its ability to survive,
Mhm.
thrive. And it physically, as I tell my little kids, it whispers to your brain. This wisdom inside of you whispers to your brain. So
Mhm.
all the symptoms and all the wonder and all the beauty, everything that comes out of and is expressed through our body, you get to look at it from a lens of body's dumb and stupid, or the body is brilliant and it's doing its best. And yes, we get symptoms. And yes, some of them
Mhm.
are really bad, and they may lead us down the path of moving on to another dimension. I get
Mhm.
that. But what can we do while we're here as chiropractors? What we can do is support the wisdom and genius of the body, and we do something that nobody else does with a focus that nobody else does. We focus on, we see interferences in people's physical, in their neuromusculoskeletal. You can't forget the neuro. That's what we do, the neuromusculoskeletal. Other people do musculoskeletal, but you get
Mhm.
chiropractors coming out of school doing musculoskeletal. I got to
Mhm.
fix your joints. I got to fix your pain. I got to, well, give
Mhm.
them an aspirin. They could live
Mhm.
on aspirin and drugs the rest of their life. What
Mhm.
makes you different? What makes you different
Right.
is you inspire people to look inside. You got this brilliance inside of you. Take care of it.
Mhm.
Remove interferences. I mean, that's how I was brought up in chiropractic. Remove interferences. The ones
Mhm.
that we do as chiropractors is we correct subluxations. Subluxations interfere with the brilliant expression of how your body adapts to the world, deals with the stresses, and stresses are here. They're not going away. It's how we adapt to it. And then all those other stresses, how people eat, how they think, whether they move their body or not, um, and exercise, how, what you eat, all of that is on them. It's on us to do. That's for us to do for
Mhm.
ourselves. And it's for
Right.
our patients and the people, our practice members, to become aware of that we can't fix you. You got a problem, you got a joint problem, and you want to go get it evaluated and treated. Some chiropractors will do some of that stuff
Mhm.
as well as correcting subluxations. Yet
Mhm.
there are professions that study physical therapists, you've got
Mhm.
massage therapists, you've got hot tubs,
Mhm.
you've got things that can allow the tissues of your body to feel better, to allow your tissues to be manipulated, or maybe you need surgery. Those are all things that are done by other professions. And if we could just stay in our lane, I think that, you know, people will
Mhm.
be drawn to wanting to be chiropractors for that reason, that we're different. We're turning on life, so to speak, in people's bodies.
Yeah.
And not all
Well,
chiropractors are learning that, Nicole. So we can't make them wrong. They go to school and
yeah.
they learn stuff. They don't learn the 33 principles. I don't know if they aspire to that their body heals from the inside out. Don't know.
You know what, honey? I guess you know where my question comes from, what I don't understand. And you probably have a much better insight than I do because you're immersed in um in our education and what's going on, outside of practice. But what you just explained is so very simple. And I'm very, in everything, in every area of my life, this could be like one of my, I guess it's probably a double-edged sword. Like it serves me in some areas and then it like hinders me in other areas, but I'm very black and white in every area of my life. I either love you or I don't. I'm either in or I'm out. I'm either up or I'm down. Like there's not a lot of gray area for me. And in chiropractic and defining chiropractic, there's not a lot of gray area. I think it's a really simple concept, and that's what it was founded on. And so I guess the part that I'm having a difficulty understanding is why are we creating quote unquote chiropractic schools that are teaching the treatment of musculoskeletal problems when people don't need to go to a chiropractic school to learn the treatment of of musculoskeletal problems. They could go to a physiotherapy school or become a physical therapist or become an occupational therapist or become any kind of therapist that they want to become. So so why have a repeat of what we already have in existence and just and name it chiropractic. I just don't understand why that happens. And maybe I don't and maybe this is where you can shed some light, but like maybe it's being driven by very powerful people. I don't know, the pharmaceutical industry, the medical industry, whatever industry is making money off of the treatment of disease. It really seems like they're just bringing what they're already doing and calling it chiropractic. And that just doesn't make any logic. It's not logical to me.
Yeah, well, again, back to what we were talking about earlier, I think before we got on the recording, that chiropractic, it, it has never really been defined universally. Universally, you have the CCE definition, you have different factions of our profession, but ultimately, for you to practice chiropractic, you have to follow the definition in your particular state that you are going to practice in. And if it says that, chiropractic is the treatment of neuromusculoskeletal problems, then that's the direction and that's what they're looking for. You have national boards that are testing you for medical diagnosis and very little chiropractic. I mean, you
Mhm.
don't go to a national board, part 4, and get asked, okay, show me how you would analyze this person's spine to determine if they have a subluxation. Then show me
Mhm.
how you would apply a force to be able to, and then show me a post check to know that you did something that changed the neurology and the physiology of this person's body by
Mhm.
doing that. So we base everything on symptoms. And so
Mhm.
the test really, if the test isn't going to test us for that, why would the schools teach that? Now, there are schools teaching that, yet you
Mhm.
are required to take exams that don't ask you the stuff that makes us unique and different. And
Right.
I've spoken to people in the national boards, and the answer is that the schools each send a representative to write questions for the national board. So if the schools are not writing questions that are focused on the analysis and the correction of subluxation and the philosophy and why we're different, um,
Mhm.
they're not going to
Well,
have it on the exam. So
I
I don't
need a
know.
job. How do I get that job,
You want
Patty?
that job? You got to go.
I'll write the dang questions.
You got to work at a chiropractic college. I can't even do it. I don't work at a chiropractic college. And my
Tell Peter he
husband
has to hire me.
and my husband certainly has enough on his plate that he can't be writing questions, but he can, guide people to write some questions that are chiropractically oriented. So it's like titration in the opposite direction. We've stopped titrating for chiropractic within our schools. That's my opinion. And we've lost the chiropractic philosophical, but it's not just philosophical, it's the art of chiropractic, of you get a spine, you get at a spine, and the person is deaf, dumb, and blind, and you should be able to take that body and be able to do an analysis. We do that on
Mhm.
babies. We know how to check babies to
Mhm.
see if they're subluxated or not. And we know there's been enough research to show that a subluxation will be like a dimmer switch. It's
Mhm.
going to it's going to turn
Mhm.
off some of the light in that body. It's going to
Right.
reduce the amount of energy that is able to be expressed in that body. So you know
Right.
that no matter where those subluxations are, it's going to put pressure on the spinal cord. And that's
Right.
how I talk about it to patients. I don't say it puts pressure on a nerve. I say it's
Mhm.
squeezing that section of your spinal cord. And no matter
Mhm.
where that is that spinal cord is going to be affected, right? And are you going to affect nerve signals going up or down? And every patient of mine says both. You're going to
Mhm.
affect, and I say, well, which nerve is it affecting? If it's squeezing in the middle of my spine, and they said anything that's going up from there and anything that's going down from there. It's simple, right? It's
Mhm.
simple.
Yeah.
We know that a subluxation over time will cause inflammation and pressure
Mhm.
into the system. And it isn't just segmental, it
Mhm.
is global.
Global.
And
Yeah.
I know years ago we talked about squeezing the hose going to a garden. Well,
Mhm.
that hose is your spinal cord. So if
Mhm.
you're reducing it at a particular area, you are going to reduce the amount of water flow all along the way. Reggie
Right.
Gold used to say, the large vessel that comes off your heart is the aorta, right? Right. He said, if you go inside somebody's body and you put a string around the aorta and you just tighten it and reduce the blood flow by 10%, let's say, are
Mhm.
you going to cause symptoms in that person's body? Probably not,
Mhm.
unless that person needs to use 100% of their blood flow. And they can
Mhm.
get by with 10%. We know people who have blockages
Mhm.
who exercise, they're
Mhm.
surviving, but they have 10% blood flow reduced.
Mhm.
It's like a subluxation. You're reducing the nerve flow, and does it always show a symptom?
Mhm.
Not right away. This is
Yeah.
this is normal nerve physiology that us as chiropractors we study it in depthly. So I
Mhm.
guess maybe the way it's being taught, it's not taught globally, it's taught differently, and I don't know. I don't know the answer
Well,
because I don't know everything that they teach in chiropractic schools.
well, here's all right. This is what I would like to do is we defined, an obvious challenge that all chiropractors face. And whether that be, you're out at a spinal screening and somebody says something negative to you about being a chiropractor, or you post something on Facebook and somebody says something negative about being a chiropractor, or even if you just have own personal challenges and tribulations in your life, what I would like to do as we come to the end of our podcast today is I want to put a positive spin on this and let's give people like real tangible advice of what can we do as real chiropractors to stay grounded and focused in our purpose and maintain our fire, maintain our passion. Um, I know there's some stuff that I do on it as a daily, like a daily habit. I'm sure that you have stuff to do. If you want to jump in what you've done over the years.
You go first, honey.
Okay. So one of the things that I don't see patients anymore. I still own my practice, but I don't see patients anymore. But when I was seeing patients, one of the things that I would do every morning is I would listen to my, what do you call them? My chiropractic ancestors,
Yep.
right? I would get on every single morning, no matter what. And not just the mornings that I practiced. Like you're not a chiropractor Monday through Thursday. I forget who said this. You probably know who said this. I've heard it over a million times. We're not just chiropractors Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday. We are chiropractors. It is our identity. It's who we are every single day. And so my daily rituals and my daily habits that kept me focused in practice were something that were non-negotiable. There are stuff that I did every single day, no matter what, rain or shine, no matter what stress, no matter what challenge came up, no matter what tribulation came up, it happened. And one of those was that every day I would listen to our chiropractic ancestors, and I would get on, YouTube and put my headphones on. And even if it was just like 10 or 15 minutes a day of listening to Reggie Gold or Jim Sigafus or, any of the thousands of great chiropractors that really
Inspired
anchored
you.
chiropractic for what I believe it to be, my definition.
Yeah. A lot of schools have not even heard of Reggie Gold, chiropractic schools. So I guess we got to cut them a break, and we can't talk about that. So we're going to talk about what do we do. I have to say, being married to Peter, our conversations are always, philosophically kind of guided. And
Mhm.
what do I do every day? Seriously, I make my bed. I'm in a hotel room right now and I made my bed. When I make my bed and I think about my day when I was going into the office. I'd think about, okay, I knew I had 5 new patients that day. I'm thinking about who they are. I'm thinking about, okay, I'm going to do my consultation. What are the points in my consultation? So I would go over, my my list of things that I was doing that day. And if it wasn't a day where I'd be in the office adjusting people, I'd still some kind of meditation.
Mhm.
But I don't do 10-minute, 20-minute meditations. Takes
Mhm.
me 5 minutes to make my bed. That's my meditation. And I just
Mhm.
really inspire myself. And I don't do what all the other people say. They say they read green books, they do this, they do that. I don't. I go to seminars where I'm going to
Mhm.
get bathed in that. Peter and I had a monthly philosophy night in our
Okay.
practice for like 35 years, where once a month we had a philosophy night and brought people in, and we shot the shit, as we say,
Yep.
after the speaker. And well, is that, tell me how you do that in your office. I was always learning, and I had 42 interns over that 35-year period.
Mhm.
And when you have interns, for me, I want them to be successful. And I know what's made our practice successful. We're different, we're unique. We're acknowledging people that you're the healer. Chiropractic isn't the healer. And I think
Mhm.
for me, if we could get chiropractors, all chiropractors,
Mhm.
philosophical and otherwise, to
Mhm.
step back and from the stage or wherever in their practices, to acknowledge people when their bodies do something different and unique, even if they don't, but you see, oh my God, your leg length changed, the tension down your spine shifted after that adjustment. You got a smart body.
Mhm.
How did it do that? And you have conversations with your patients about that. But chiropractors need that too, because they're looking for the
Absolutely.
miracles. Oh, my patient had cancer. Now they don't have cancer. Isn't chiropractic great? Chiropractic, it's the body, the
Mhm.
surgeon who opens up somebody's chest and repairs their heart. Oh, the surgeon's great. Well, that person's got to heal those bones and the
Mhm.
tissues. Their body does it. So for
Right.
me, that is the link for me, that if people would have less trials and tribulations if they took it outside of them and
Yes.
be humble and know you are an instrument that
Yeah.
is dealing with life in front of you. Acknowledge the life in front of you.
Yes. So
That's
I
what
want to,
makes us different.
yeah, I love that you said that. You actually made like two different points that I want to highlight here for the people who are listening or are listening. Number one is, well, not all of us, right, are married to a chiropractor, but you had mentioned, being married to a chiropractor, having those conversations, have philosophically based conversations, and also getting out into the chiropractic community. And so a big point here, I think, for you guys who are out there practicing who want to stay principled, you want to stay purposed, and you have all these distractions, is immerse yourself with people who are like-minded. Immerse yourself with people who believe what you believe and support each other. Um, there's no competition in chiropractic. People ask me all the time because I help people open practices. They say, well, I don't know, you think this is a location? There's like 5 other practices on this block. I'm like, it doesn't matter. There's no competition. There's not enough chiropractors on that block to see all the people in your community that need to be seen. Like you wouldn't be able to do it even if you wanted to, right? So I think that was a really good point that you had made is immersing yourself and total transparency, because our show is called Getting Real. And when we started this show, we said we were going to be totally transparent and totally honest with our viewers. There are times where like seminars or weekends come up and I get an invite to go to a seminar, and it's like I get this like internal dialogue of like, oh, then I gotta take away time. I gotta take away from time from my boys and my family. And the waves are really good this weekend. And oh, my friends, they're going out to wherever this weekend. I'd really like to do that too. But that's what's called discipline. My good friend Stu Bittman, he calls it blissipline, and that's where blissipline comes into play. Is that you have to have the discipline to to make the conscious choice to immerse yourself and be around the right kind of people in order to stay focused on your purpose. Um,
Yeah.
and then your second point, that was, I think, pure gold. I mean, shoot, if people could just get this, and it makes life so much easier. And some chiropractors say, don't take blame, don't take credit, kind of thing, where acknowledge the beautiful essence of life within the human body. And I think you actually said it beautifully. I'm going to paraphrase it, not nearly as great as you said it, Patty. But it's like when you start getting all fussed up with like, are their symptoms going away? Are they getting better? Are they not getting better? Like, where's the timeline here? How long is it going to take? And then when like you said, when you do have people whose body heals, their symptoms go away, and we take all this credit, we're like, oh, we're so great. That puts you on an emotional roller coaster, and it's a trick. It's like Satan's trick for your brain, because one day you think, oh, I'm awesome. I could lay hands on people and heal people, and the next day you're like, nobody's healing, right? And so just keeping just
Mm.
keeping just remembering that that's not what this is about. Like
It's
your job
not,
is,
yeah, it's not about you.
it's
It's
not
about
about you.
the
You
life
have one
inside that
job and one
person.
job only.
Yeah.
Remove the interference.
It's so simple. And
So
that's how
simple.
Peter and I practiced for,
Mhm.
42 years. And it doesn't mean that we never adjusted a foot or an elbow or a shoulder. And those things happened because we sent them off to orthopedists or physical therapists, and they came back and said, it didn't help. And then Peter would check and go, oh, maybe this or that. And they'd be like, oh my God, what did you do?
Mhm.
It's like, is that mixing? Is that, well, it's, and then, but chiropractors take it to many different levels. And,
Yeah.
if that's what they want to do, like you said in the beginning, is it chiropractic? Well, I guess it is if they went to a chiropractic school and they were taught that. So we
Mhm.
can't say it isn't, but is it traditional chiropractic, handed down from D.D. Palmer and B.J. Palmer? Is that antiquated, or is that what makes us unique and
Yes.
different, and allows us to be able to say that if you have a, a spine and a nerve system and you are alive and breathing, you could use a chiropractor, right? Because we all have teeth, we have eyes, and everybody who has teeth goes to a dentist. People who have
Hmm.
eyes go to an eye doctor.
Hmm.
Your nerve system is way more important. If that's not working, then those things aren't going to be working so great.
Right.
So it's kind of the umbrella and the basis for everything working in the body. And that expands. Reggie Gold said, if you got a piece of pie, if you got a pie and you're a
Hmm.
little sliver of treating neuromusculoskeletal problems, rather
Hmm.
than the whole pie is, you're taking care of that body, that person,
Hmm.
to allow them to express their fullest. And when they do that, maybe the pain goes away, maybe it doesn't, but maybe they need to look at what's going on in their lives. So that's the getting real part, is that it isn't about us. It's about
Hmm.
that person, their healing journey, and what
Hmm.
they need to go through. And we cannot take responsibility for that. I took responsibility for making sure their nerve system stayed as happy and healthy as possible. And I stuck to that. And we had, I think, one of the largest practices probably in the US between
Hmm.
the two of us. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Guys, you guys are so lucky watching Dr. Patty.
Oh,
I feel like our audience is so lucky to like glean this from you. Patty, we are like we're at our half hour limit already. Um,
we did a
and we have
lot.
to, yeah, and we also have a lot more and like so many more notes on staying focused and on purpose during
Next
trials and
time.
tribulations. So why don't we make this a part two so that our next episode will be a part two of keeping steady hands, a clear mind, and staying focused on practice during times of tribulations. Does that sound good?
That sounds good. And how do they get in touch with us? If
Oh,
let's
well,
say they have questions when they're listening to our podcast.
yeah, that's pretty easy. I think both of us are on Facebook,
Okay.
right? I'm on Facebook, Nicole Bonner. You can just private message me. And Patty, you're on Facebook as Patty with an I, Giuliano, right? Is
Yeah,
that your
yeah.
name on Facebook?
That means I have to go look on Facebook, right?
Yeah,
They
it's
can message me, right?
2026.
They'll
You don't
message
check
me,
your
right?
Facebook?
Um, yeah, I check my Facebook messages. Yes. I don't
Okay,
always go on Facebook, but
so message us on Facebook, and I'll answer. Patty will eventually answer you.
or you can tell me what the
Or I'll tell her. If she doesn't respond, if she's non-responsive, message me. I'll get to her.
Okay. Sounds good. If you can find me around the world.
All right,
Okay,
you guys.
Nicole.
Thanks, Patty, and we love you
Oh,
guys.
love you guys. Love you, Nicole. See you next
Thank you.
time.